It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. Nothing matters at all. There are some things that I want to talk about and I think about, so I'll just start there and then see where it takes me. And I have my face paints with me, so I'm going to paint a little bit on this. What color to start with? I'm feeling teal or turquoise. I don't know the color names. I'm just like, I'm supposed to be an artist, but I'm supposed to know the color names. And instead of like, I don't know, what is this? This is this one. It's like emerald green, teal, turquoise, turquoise. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce them. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I am depressed. I don't want to talk about the fact that I'm depressed, but where my reflection about that leads me to at this moment. Because I have been depressed for most of my adult life, definitely. On and off. There have been worse moments, there have been better moments. It obviously affects my energy, it obviously affects my mood, my relationships, my everything. It is always there. It is always here, everywhere. For a long time, I strived for happiness. I thought at some point I will feel better. And then when I feel better, I will be everything I want to be. I will be an artist, I will be a dancer, I will be famous, I will be loved, I will have people around me, I will have friends, I will have everything I so desperately want. And every time I'm like, I'm not feeling happy or I'm not feeling encouraged to do anything, I find myself hating myself for not reaching this standard, for not living up to this standard, which I constructed for myself. What am I doing even? I don't know. Let's see where this one leads. And the thing is, it will never go away. Even if it does at some point, I just have to operate under the assumption that this is just how the life is, that the voices won't stop. I thought about it yesterday, how crowded my head is with voices of other people, while there's basically no one around me, due to a variety of reasons. One of them is definitely I just don't let people in and around myself. I don't want them to see this, I don't want them to be subjected to this, because I personally hate this. I hate that this is how I am. And I was thinking recently that, so what? So you are not that person that you want to be. You are not that happy or cheerful or anything. And I tried to be cheerful in my life. I used to try and just turn my thoughts around, just challenge my preconceived notions about myself, try to locate these voices, assign them to different people, just remember who told me that, and that happened. When I hear the voices, I know who they belong to, and I still hear them. They're still here. I'm still depressed. I'm still subjected to them. I don't think it's going to change. I consider myself pretty weak, both in my soul and in my body. I am a bitter person. I hold a lot of bitterness towards other people. I easily get jealous and envious of people's successes, people's relationships, people's everything. And I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be this person, but I am this person. I have been trying to redefine my personhood, to identify it, to reshape it, to be a good person, and I'm just not that. I don't know if I'm a bad person, I don't know if I'm a good person, like probably people who interacted with me in my life. There are some people who tell me like how glad they are to be around me, how much fun I contributed to their life. There are probably people who are like talking about me between themselves and just discussing my relatively unpleasant traits. Just last week I had another blossoming friendship break apart. Probably they don't think very complimentary about me at this point, but I can't do anything about it. I can't make myself any other person that I am, regardless of how many hours I think about it, regardless of how much effort I spend reflecting on it. It's just a lot of anxiety, a lot of jealousness, a lot of just trying to fit in. Over my adult life, I had to shape myself into whatever people wanted me to be. My partners, my parents, sometimes people around me, my job that I hated. And I had to pretend so much that I'm at this stage. There's nothing about me that I am sure of, that I'm confident in, nothing to latch on other than my depression, my anxiety, my jealousness, my loneliness, my shame. These things I'm sure of. These things have been with me. Some of them have been with me for as long as I remember. Shame has been with me for as long as I remember. And I just can't change that. Parallel to that, I have dreams, right? I want to be an artist. And sometimes I manage to act on that. I'm like, I've done things in my life. I've had projects landing in my life. I've had like things that I managed to share with others. But on the other hand, I'm just like, from in my day-to-day experience, I feel so drowned in this shame and everything I latch onto in my, what I feel is essential to me. Just the other day I was imagining it as I am very thin-skinned and full of all of this like thoughts, words, phrases, conflicts, feelings. Like my skin is made of plastic film. It's like very thin, very crumbly, very noisy, and I'm just full of this bullshit. And at the same time, I live in this thick-skinned bubble that is full of my emotional farts. I'm just there in the bubble, isolated from all of the world, and the thick walls of the bubble, they just bounce off everyone who tries to engage, and occasionally like tears somewhere, and there's a little bit of this reeking air full of my emotional farts, like just stale emotional farts, escaping the bubble on people who are around, and they get to learn how they should not be around me. And then I just patch it up, because that's the only life I know. So I patch it up to keep myself safe, because of how thin my skin is, and to keep others safe from my shit, literally. But that means that I don't have access to others, I don't have access to fresh air, I don't give myself this access, I don't let myself feel good. I'm just never going to be happy. There's no happiness for people like me. There are glimpses, an occasional, like, particularly exciting, I don't know, маленький episode. This circle is not circling. Why am I so shit at this? Mostly because like it's difficult to use camera as a mirror. At the same time, I have been listening to one of my favorite bands, whose texts are basically like all of this, whatever I just said. The anxiety, the feeling of not belonging to the world, the loneliness, the isolation, of how a lot of this is isolation and loneliness are self-inflicted, and it's inescapable, and it's all of this. And I absolutely love them. I love the text. They bring comfort to me. But at the same time, for some reason, I do not, like, every time I want to like make something about the pain that I feel, I kind of hide away. But like, it's not particularly true, because every time I get access to social media, I immediately start just like shitposting my hate for myself. I don't know why. I need to put it outside, somewhere outside of myself. This is the only way I know how to. What am I doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work as a composition, but I'm purely just letting it happen, whatever it is. Didn't have anything planned, so this is what we're doing. And it's happening much more colorful than I imagine it's going to be. Yeah, and I'm like also not trying very hard, because I'm not by the mirror. I don't see very well, and yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters at all. The other thing that the work of this band tells me is that they are feeling like this, and the outlet they found is the music, their texts. They latched onto that in order to enrich their writing. They are like reading a lot, they collaborate with others. I had a hope at some point that if I find someone to work with, it will be much easier. And it was easier for a little bit, but then it happened like it happens with everyone else. I craved for their validation. They ended up being too close to my bubble. They felt the toxicity of the air I breathe, and they bounced off the walls of my bubble. That's just how it is. I want to find one thing, whatever it is, like anything, to latch onto and just put faith in that, something that that is not just existing in my brain, something that is not the result of my chemicals misfiring or whatever it is, something that not necessarily would make me happy, but just give me a relief, let it absorb me. Basically I just need to find God in anything. I need a meaning, but at the same time not hoping that it's going to make me happy, not waiting for it to make me happy. God does not owe us anything, does he? He's just there. He looks after us. He, they, whatever it is, whatever you believe in. My religious beliefs are idiosyncratic. I was raised in a country with Orthodox Christianity as a primary religious force, and then throughout my life I had my little interactions dabbling with Buddhist thought and little bits of information about how the Orthodox Christianity differs from other Christian denominations, of how people find meaning through philosophy, the existential philosophy, blah blah blah, everything like that. So God is a useful metaphor for me for this force that both connects everyone and everything, just the fabric of reality. In this my belief is that we ought to find our means of serving this fabric of reality and just put ourselves into it without hoping that it's going to give to something to us personally. Just find solace in the servitude. I just have to find what it is. The only times I find solace, focus, flow, is when I get absorbed by whatever artistic experience I have at that moment. When I write, when I work on a more long-term project. Right now I'm pretty focused. While talking about all of this, I'm focused right now. I'm talking to the camera, I'm doing whatever this is. I am trying to approximately keep my train of thought on track. At the same time, letting it unfold into whatever it wants to unfold into. And I don't think there's anything more that I can do. And what do I want to do here? Okay, we can work with this. And I was recently inspired in general by literally people just talking to the camera about their thoughts and about their experiences in less or more I don't know, encouraging ways. And I don't know, some have more positive messages, some have less. And I don't know, I have positive messages for others. I always have them. For myself, though, yeah, in my bubble, I do not deserve the kindness or compassion. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's working, I don't know. Is it working? No one is going to see this anyway. And definitely no one is going to watch all of this at the same time. So I'm purely just making it for just to make something, and because I thought about it, and that's part of the worship actually. Just but part of this serving this fabric of reality is that, okay, you have a thought, you have an idea, you have an urge to do something, you just have to do that, you just have to act on it without hoping that it will give you anything. The only thing it can give you is freedom from this particular urge for, I don't know, for some time. And yeah, I guess that's all we have to work with. I don't know, it's such a weird shape. I like shapes. Yeah. my dog is looking at me. I don't know why. She was supposed to be asleep now. Yeah, I got a dog to save me from my loneliness, and it did not work. It did not work at all. It did not work at all. It did not work at all. This shape is going to look like facial hair. Or not, maybe, I don't know. It is just a shape. If anyone for some reason ever decides to watch it and watch it to the end, let me know what you think. Let me know where you have found meaning. How do you serve whatever you call God? I don't know what is happening here. I'm just going to wrap it up here. It's not. It could work probably, but this is just how it is today. And I guess that's a good metaphor for my state of mind. Sometimes I do it well, you know. Sometimes. Occasionally, it is working. It's just today it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Bye.